Children, as we have read in the first part that the writer Jerome Wiedemann met Einstein in a dinner party. In the party, when Einstein came to know that he was unable to differentiate high and low notes of music, so Einstein brings him to an upstairs room and plays a song of Bing Crosby. Now let's continue the explanation further. Children, okay, so let's continue the explanation of the chapter. Okay, so now can you please tell me what you just heard? He said. Here, who is he? Einstein. Okay, so he asked the narrator, Wiedemann. Okay, he asked the narrator to tell him what he had just heard. And you know, children, what he had just heard? Yes, the song of Bing Crosby. Okay, so the simplest answer seemed to be to sing the line, so I sing it back to him. Now, Wiedemann sang the same song of Bing Crosby to Einstein. Okay, then he smiled. You are not tone deaf, he said. Einstein told him that he was not a tone deaf. He can understand music. So I told him this was one of my favorite songs, something I had heard hundreds of times. So it didn't really prove anything. So here narrator said to Einstein that there is not a big deal because he had heard the same song hundreds of times, and that is why he was able to understand the music and he was able to sing it better. Then, and he says that it didn't really prove anything. Then, nonsense, said Einstein. Einstein said, no, it's not like that. He didn't agree with Wiedemann's point. It proves everything. Do you remember your first arithmetic lesson in school? So here Einstein reminds him of his school days, and he said to him to suppose. See, he says further, suppose at your very first contact with numbers, your teacher had ordered you to work out a problem in, say, long division or fractions. Could you have done it? Now he said to him to suppose that you had just learned the numbers. Okay, and your teacher had told you to solve big problems of divisions and fractions. So would you be able to do it? Okay, then Wiedemann says, no, of course not. Now here the narrator said, no, it would be difficult for him. Exactly, it's like learning maths. Now Einstein came to his point that yes, here learning music is similar to the learning of maths also. Then you have to learn addition and subtraction in order to do multiplication and division. Now he said that yes, first of all you have to understand, you have to learn how to add, how to divide, how to subtract. Then only you would be able to do multiplications and divisions. Now, okay, so here children, let me tell you one thing, that here Einstein makes him understand by relating music to the arithmetic lesson. Okay, in arithmetic a person can't be proficient unless he practices its rules step by step and again. Okay, so here in the same manner music also requires practice. Okay, now let's continue. Now I'm playing something a little more advanced. Now here Einstein was going to play something advanced music. Okay, it was a trumpeter by John McCormack. Sing that back, he ordered. Who ordered? Here Albert Einstein played a piece of music named The Trumpeter, composed by John McCormack. Okay, and he instructed the narrator to sing it back. Because here children, he wanted to help the narrator in understanding the music. Okay, so here, and we went on from one level to a higher level until he was playing just music without words. Now here children, Albert Einstein played some music, simple music for the narrator that had words, and then they went on from the one level to another level, to the higher level. That was the music without words. Okay, so they went on step by step and listening to higher level. Okay, then finally the narrator was able to understand music without words. Okay, I was amazed that this great man was paying complete attention to me so that I could learn something new. Now, the narrator was surprised and even grateful also. He had a feeling of, thankfulness to Albert Einstein also, and he was surprised to see that that great person was putting so much effort to make him understand the music. Okay, and then, and because of him only, because of Einstein only, the narrator was able to understand the notes of the music. Okay, then it was as if I was the most important person in his world. Okay, so here, Albert Einstein treated him as if he was the most important person for him. Suddenly he got up and turned off the gramophone. Now, suddenly, at once, Einstein got up and turned off that gramophone. Okay, because now he was also satisfied with the narrator, also, and now he understood, Einstein understood that the narrator now could be able to understand the notes of the music. Okay, now continue. We are ready to listen to Bach. Now, children, do you remember Bach? Okay, Bach was a German organist and one of the greatest composers of all time, right? Bach was the name of a great composer, right? His full name was Johann Sebastian Bach. Okay, so here Einstein wanted the narrator to listen to Bach again and go to downstairs. Okay, then we went down and sat in the hall. Just allow yourself to listen, he said. That's all there is to it. Okay, now they went downstairs and sat in the hall. And you know, children, that they were in the drawing room, big drawing room where concert was being uh, held. Okay, and then Einstein told him to allow himself to listen to the music. It means he wanted him to focus on the music. Okay, then I have heard that piece many times since that day, but I am not never alone. I am sitting beside a small man with a shock of untidy hair and a pipe in his mouth. Now, here the narrator said that since that day, since that evening, he had listened the same piece of music again and again and many a times, and he felt every time he felt the presence of Albert Einstein, right? Having you can say that his description is given here, that a small man with a shock of untidy hair and a pipe in his mouth, because he was having a pipe in his mouth, and you know, he had a shock of untidy hair also. Okay, then he has eyes that are unusually warm. Okay, so who has eyes that are unusually warm? Yes, Albert Einstein's. The narrator says that Albert Einstein's eyes were so expressive and warm. When the concert ended, I too was able to clap sincerely. Now, the narrator says that when the concert ended, then he could understand all the notes of music, and he could be able to clap. He could be able to praise and appreciate the piece of music. Our hostess came towards us. We both stood up. Now, their hostess came to them. I'm so sorry, Dr. Einstein, she said, giving me a cold look. Giving me a cold look means now actually she saw the narrator with a cold look, and she said she was feeling sorry about that. Dr. Einstein had missed uh, a part of music. Okay, then I'm sorry too, he said. My young friend here and I, however, were engaged in the greatest activity of which a human being is capable. She looked puzzled. Really, she said. And what is it? What is that? Now, when the lady was sorry about the piece of note that Einstein had missed that time, so Einstein said that they were very busy. They had been very busy for the greatest activity. In the greatest activity of which a human being is capable. Now, children, here the line is so has a deep sense. Here it doesn't mean that they are doing simple things. Okay, so here he meant that they were indulged in the activity which was very important for the narrator also. Now there at that time, that period of time, the narrator had understood the notes of music and he got confidence that he could learn, he could understand, he could appreciate the music also, that could be without words. Okay, so this was the greatest activity for Einstein as well as Wiedemann, the narrator. Okay, because in this period only Wiedemann had learned a lot. Okay, then let's continue. She looked puzzled. Really, she said. And what is that? Now she asked again about the activity that I have told you, children. Okay, which activity they were indulged in? They were indulged in understanding the different notes of music. Okay, then last line. Einstein smiled and put his arm across my shoulders, opening up the frontiers of beauty. Children, here opening up the frontiers of beauty means exploring for the first time. Here, who was opening up the frontiers of beauty? What is the frontier of beauty? Can you tell me? Yes, they have explored, not they, but Wiedemann had explored the frontiers of beauty. Why? Here he had understood the different levels of music, okay, step by step. And remember that Albert Einstein had compared the learning of music with the learning of arithmetic. It means that all we need, children, all we need to pay our focus or attention to it, right? If we want to understand anything, so we need to focus, we need to heed attention towards a particular thing. Okay, that is all, and you can understand. Okay, just like the narrator, he along with Einstein was exploring music, different notes of music, from the simple one to the higher level of music itself. Okay, so this is all for today, and read the chapter again, try to understand, and if you, in case you can not understand, please ask me. Okay, thank you very much, children. Bye.